Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. It is great to see you here tonight. Thank you very much for being here. Tonight, we are honoring one of our own, Beth Robinson. To say that Beth is a lawyer, a partner in private practice at Langrock, Sperry & Wool in Middlebury, Vermont, is only the beginning. She is the devoted spouse of Kim Boyman, a devoted daughter, a reliable friend. She is a doting aunt to nieces and nephews. In summer, she's an avid and prolific gardener, and she has a tractor. It's great. In winter, she's a daredevil sledder. Beth does not slide down hills, but mountains. She loves life, animals, people, food, politics, the world. Thank you. Is she a tad intense? Of course. We love it. What would you expect from somebody who changes the course of history? Many of us have heard the Margaret Mead quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world." Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. That's the story of Vermont, with people on the ground and in the legislature making essential contributions to equality. But dig a little deeper, and we see Beth Robinson at the heart of that story. Without Beth, it simply would not have come together. We honor Beth tonight as the reason why we have marriage in the great state of Vermont. I met Beth one Saturday afternoon in 1994 at a meeting GLAAD had convened with lawyers from throughout New England to talk about the Hawaii Supreme Court marriage decision, the first court decision seeing something discriminatory about the exclusion of same-sex couples from civil marriage. A door had opened, and we wanted to figure out what it might mean for us here in New England. As always, Beth listened. She asked smart questions. She was clearly a team player. Beth and her also amazing law partner, Susan Murray, went back to Vermont. Yes, Susan. They went back to Vermont and founded the Vermont Freedom to Marry Task Force. They started education before litigation, pioneering the kind of on-the-ground outreach and education that has become a model for the LGBT rights movement nationwide. In 1997, July 1997, the three of us filed the case, Baker versus State of Vermont, on behalf of 3 same-sex couples in the Burlington area. The freedom to marry issue had come to the mainland. Working with Beth and Susan was exhilarating intellectually, and it was also great fun. We'd have 2-hour conference calls, followed by 100-page faxes, followed by more revisions, more faxes, more FedExes, until we finally had it all together and reached the Vermont Supreme Court. Things were very somber at the Vermont Supreme Court in November 1998. It was just about 2 weeks after Hawaii and Alaska had amended their state constitutions to prohibit marriage. It is no exaggeration to say that the future of this movement was resting on Vermont's shoulders and on Beth's, who delivered a stunning oral argument to the 5 justices of the Vermont Supreme Court. Absolutely. When the Baker decision came down 13 months later, on December 20th, 1999, it was not what we had expected. The court agreed with us that gay couples have a right to the legal protections of marriage at the state level, but they left it to the legislature to decide how to make that happen, whether through marriage or some other system. Now, we all know what the Vermont legislature decided to do, to pursue a separate system in what became civil unions. Very importantly, our side could have killed off that effort, as nothing would have passed the Vermont legislature without the support of the Freedom to Marry Task Force. I was at a meeting in Montpelier where this very issue was discussed, but Beth and others could see that we also had an historic opportunity, the first form of a marital status for same-sex couples, and a crucial bridge to the future. Civil unions shook the state and the nation. Some of our more colorful opponents said that Vermont would be swallowed up in a pit of fire if civil unions became law. Thankfully, that didn't happen. It didn't happen here in Massachusetts either, where similar predictions were made about marriage. But across this country, what happened is that people began to see that this could work, that same-sex couples could be successfully folded into a marital system. It was during this time that Beth said something to me I've never forgotten. Without any bitterness, but with a tiny bit of exhaustion, she said, "Now I'm going to have to spend the next 10 years getting to marriage." Well, it only took her 9. And this year, the state that invented civil unions has moved on to say that the only thing that provides equality is civil marriage. Beth, you have brought your many amazing gifts and talents to our equality movement. You have planned, you have been patient, and you have pushed ever so well. You have brought out the best in so many of us in this long struggle. Since we can never say enough, Beth, we will simply say from the bottom of our hearts, thank you and congratulations.